Hi Internet viewers, this is Frank Rauscher again. We are doing the wren, and we had come in on a piece of basswood and we made a template and we outlined the template for the profile of the wren. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the back. My back room is where I have my bandsaw. I'm going to cut this out and show you how to do that. And again, remember when I laid this out, this arrow direction is the way the grain is going, and that gives you the strength so that you have the strength in the beak. But remember, the tail is the weak link, but if you're carving any of this out with a knife, you got to be extra careful because you are going against the grain on that. But if you're doing power carving, not a problem. So let me take you in the back and I'll show you the next step, and then we'll bring it to the table and I'll show you how to do the rest on this, okay? So bear with me. And okay, I'm back at my bandsaw, and I hope you can see this okay. I'm going to follow the outline here, and I'm going to come in. It's making a little bit of noise, so I'm just going to come in here. And I'm just going up to where I trimmed the tail, so I don't have a lot of waste. I'm going to come in along this line and try to get the rest of it out. So bear with me a second here. I'm going to start on the beak and follow the line in from the head. Going in, coming around. And I try to follow the exact line work that we have in there. And what I'm using here is called a 6-hook tooth 1/4 inch bandsaw. I should say blade. I'll back this out and then come around closer. Come right on up. And that takes care of getting that one side done. So now I'm going to trim along this edge and get that outline out. So let me trim the beak a little bit because I have a little material on the front. Then I'm going to come in. Stop there, and then I'm going to come up from the belly side and follow that right on around up to the beak. And that's got that portion of it. Now I'm going to go in on the rest of the belly, which is this part right here. Hope you can see it okay. And I'm going to follow that through. Coming around. Back up. There we go. Now I'm going to clean this up in here. That radius gets a little tight. The reason why I use a 6-hook tooth 1/4 inch, it really allows me to do a lot more cutting close in. And part of why this isn't doing it as best as could be, because this is an old blade that I've been using forever. So this is could have been sharpened more, and I guess I should put some more tension onto this too, because it's been sitting around and I haven't really used it that much. But anyway, there's the outline in profile that I cut out. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to the table again, and we will proceed on, and I'll show you how I map out the top view. Okay, so bear with me. All right, we're back at the table again, and we have this cut out. And like I said, this arrow is pointing where the grain goes, right through there. Now, I'm going to get the top view, which is for this, and I'm getting the template that we made for that out of cardboard, and I'm going to lay this on top of here. But this bird, you have to look down on it. Remember when we had the bird, this here, I said that this tail is way up here and everything drops down. And in reality, this is a true projection of what that carving looks like. But to lay this on here, if I just lay this down here, you could see that if I had this lined up for the beak at this edge, it's not extending to all the way the end here for the tail. So how you want to project this would be like this. You want to get this so that this comes all the way up to the front as you're looking straight down on this. I don't know. Let's make sure I'm on dead center so that you can see what I'm doing here. Laying this like this, I'm actually holding this pattern up rather than dropping it down, so that this almost lines up with the edge of that, and this lines up with the edge back here. And because I have enough room across here, because I had a nice wide piece that I cut out, I'm going to, excuse me, get my head in the road here. I'll turn that around, my hat, so that I can look down from the top. And I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to come in here, and as I look down, this gets kind of tricky, but this is how I do it. And I turn it here, and then I'm looking from the top down, and I come around here. Then I'm following the outline as best I can, looking straight down. And I'm going to, right where this steps in, which is the dropped wing, I'm getting that in place there. So, and then I can also, while I have this side up, draw this tail in. Now, I'm going to turn this around so that I can hold this and get this up like this and this. And I'm going to draw the rest of it, making sure I could see that this edge is on that edge. Hold that up, draw this out, and I'm coming up to this point, come over, and then make sure that the width of my tail is in there. Okay, so I have this cut out right here, notched, and then I could lay this down real quick to see that I'm full in here, and I'm checking this side. Now I'm doing this as a lay down just up in here, just to sort of make sure I got my overalls okay. And then the tail, you can lay that up here and you know that's wide enough there, and then I draw the lines in. Now this is where this portion right here is where the drop wing comes in to play. And when we go to cut it, this is what's going to happen. The drop wing is a stop, and we got to maintain that. And what really happens is, what I didn't cut out so well is in here, that this comes back and the tail continues a little bit more. So we'll cut a little slice into there, and we'll do the same thing here. This will come sliding up and then out, over, and around. So that's the outline we're trying to get maintained. Now I'm going to take you back to the back room again, and I'm going to show you how I cut it out. Now, a lot of people try to get jigs and everything else to hold this so that you could walk it through. I do something that isn't the smartest way of cutting them out, but this is the way I do it, okay? I hold this in my hand and I work it so that my fingers are not in the road when I'm running the bandsaw to get this outline, okay? And I try to hold the bird the way it's going to look in the position it's going to be, and I cut it out. But a lot of people like to put all pieces of wood back and get it, and you keep it with a square piece of wood. I don't do that, and you'll see how I do it. And like I said, if the bandsaw ever wants to grab and take the wood, let it go, because you don't want your fingers in the way. But I'll be honest with you, I've been cutting these blanks for a long time, so you can follow what I'm doing, but there are better ways of doing it. And if you're doing it, what you can do is hold one side, work it through, and try to maintain control, but never get near that blade, okay, as best you can do. So let me take you to the back, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. This is now, we're going to be cutting out the top view of the bird, okay? Here's one that's already done. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to trim the tail up. Okay, so here's one that's already done, but I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. So I'm going to turn on the bandsaw, and I'm going to cut right up to that notch that we have here. So and you go right up to the tail without whacking the tail. There's the cut there. You can see where the tail is, and I stopped short of it. Now, all this is stuff you can lay down on the table and have full control as far as cutting. Okay. There's one side. The other side. The tail is out now. Okay. Now, here's what I do. I'm going to get the blade along here and cut all the way along here right on up. So watch me on this. I try to stay away from the blade and start cutting on the back end here, and I'm staying on the outside edge. Now, scratching all along my pencil line. Notice I always have my hand away from the blade, but I'm controlling it from the back and the front, but I'm holding out here and I'm holding back here, so you shouldn't have your hands in the way. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to follow this line all the way around and up. So here we go again. I'm going to come back here. Follow the pencil line. If I'm not blocking your view. Right down on it. Okay, so everything is out except for I got to trim the beak. So what I'm going to do is just walk that lightly right through there, and now we got the whole thing outlined just the way it should be. Okay, we got the drop wing is actually down here, but you got to make provisions up here. We've already cut in, and we'll extend the tail in a little further as we go when we do. But this is where we want to be for cutting it out. Now, I do one other step, and we have a lot of wood on the corners here. So what I do, and if you ever get any blanks from me, you'll see that being taken care of real fast. I knock some of this off, and that helps you when you're taking the wood down to shape it. So I hold this on a 45-degree angle. This gets a little tricky. And you could leave it on there and do it with a hockey stick, but I knock the corners off. I do it with that one. And again, I'm always away from the blade. I'm going to do this side too. I'm going to knock off the corner in there. So I'm going to go on a 45-degree angle. And then on the bottom, and what I've done is I've knocked the corners off. They can be rough, don't have to match up or anything like that. It just saves you some material that you would have to grind off later. So this is where we're going to start from, and then on the next video I will take you and show you how to put the center lines in, and we'll establish everything else. But for this video, I just want to show you how to make your own blank, if that's what you want to do, or I provide them as well if you need to get them. I hope you got something out of this one, and I hope I didn't confuse you on anything. And if you enjoy what you see, I would ask you to give me a thumbs up. And if you would subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that as well. That's very helpful for me. So on the next video, I will start putting center lines in, and I'll show you how to do that. And then we build off of those center lines. So that's where everything happens from there, the magic. Okay, so we'll see you on the next video.